All right, so I just finished watching the finale of The Penguin, available on Max now, season 1, episode 8. Before we get into spoilers, I want to say that I'm still reeling over this finale. I absolutely love The Penguin. This is such a great show. One of the best I've seen in a really long time. I feel like you don't even have to know who Batman is to enjoy this show. It stands on its own and very similar vibes to Sopranos, and it definitely started out that way and started on the same steps that Sopranos did and created, but it certainly has made its own path now with this wonderful, wonderful show. I think the cast is incredible. I think the writing is superb, and all of the other departments, production design, cinematography, they all keep up to par with everything else. Really just making for an outstanding show. This is coming from both me and my partner, who were not fans of the Robert Pattinson Batman film where the Penguin got his start. It just wasn't my Batman. I have some issues with it. Still to this day kind of think it's too long and dark and just kind of one tone, whereas I feel like the Penguin has a lot more variety to it, even though it does feel darker in a lot of ways, but it's way more intricate and interesting to me personally. I just am more blown away by these performances. Like, if you compare the cast to the Batman, I feel like they're just on a whole nother level. The Penguin, like, they're superheroes in acting. It's incredible. But we're obsessed with this show, mostly due to Cristin Milioti, who this show would not work without her. So I highly recommend to check out The Penguin if you guys haven't watched it. If you guys are not caught up with season 1, episode 8, please stop watching, as we are going to get into spoilers now. So let's begin. So the first thing that we see in episode 8 is Frances Cobb, Oz's mother, who's laying in bed, and she's kind of waking up, and we hear the doctor's voice talking to her, and we see the red light going across her face. My first thought is that, like, are we going into another flashback for the finale? And I was a little worried. I was kind of thinking, like, how long are we going to be spending time in a flashback for the final hour of the show? But as soon as we got into the scene, we saw the shot of her as the younger actress, but it went back to the mom, and it stayed on the mom, like the older actress, Deidre O'Connell, she is, oh my god, she is arguably better than Cristin Milioti and Colin Farrell. Like, I've been blown away by her performance in this show. It makes me want to go back and watch everything that she's been in, because I'm so impressed with what she's done on this show. When I saw that she was going to be staying in this scene, I was immediately more intrigued. Not that the other actress was bad, but I'm much more captivated by Deidre O'Connell's performance. I thought it was interesting we got to see another scene with Rex, even though I'm not, like, familiar with his character too much in the comics. I don't think he has that big of a role. I was just reading he was in the comics and kind of has a small influence on the Penguin and worked with the Falcones, I believe. But what shocked me the most about this scene with him and Frances Cobb was finding out that Frances knew about what Oz did to his brothers. And I thought that was going to be a whole thing Sophia was going to pull out of them to kind of use against the mom and Oz. So I was really thrown off. I was like, okay, she's known this whole time. That is crazy. And so immediately I was just like, whoa, this connects to so much. What does this mean, and what does she want from Oz? What is she really doing? It's also crazy that Rex kind of talks about what this could mean for his future. His little speech about how this could be a good thing and how you can use it because of his devotion to his mother. very interesting. He really saw where this guy could go. I love getting to see the ballroom dance scene continued and finding out it has a whole nother layer to it. Getting to see Deidre O'Connell get to act with the younger version of Oz was very fun. Both of them so good, but obviously just getting to see the kid react to this incredible actress, I felt like brought out a better performance in him. Not that he was bad, but it was just like, whoa, you gotta keep up with this lady. Like, she is just an expert at this. Like, but just knowing that she was planning to take out her own son is crazy. This whole family is fucking crazy. But the speech that Oz gives to her, kind of reeling her back in and trying to prove to her that he can give her everything that she wants, is just so sick. What a sick family tree that this is grown into. Now, of course, we go back to the current time, and like I said, I was worried we were going to be in the flashback for too long, but that was such a good flashback. I could have been lost in that entire scene for the rest of the show. We get to see a glimpse of Vic, who's seeing the explosion. We find out that the other gang members are really not on their side, and they don't care about Penguin. All they care about is the drugs. Then we get to see Penguin wake up, and he's been captured by Sophia's men, and now he's being interrogated by Sophia, who brings out his mother to show him that she's a hostage as well. Me and my girlfriend were joking about how when Penguin was like aggravated in the chair and he couldn't talk and was just like, no, Mom, I need you. You know, we knew he was talking about his mom, but like both of us were just like, I think he's reacting to Sophia and her incredible outfit that she's wearing. Both me and my partner were just like, holy shit, that's us reacting to Sophia's dress. She just looks so great in every scene. It's amazing, the costumes that they have and the way they do her hair is just perfect. But no, this scene by far was the pitch perfect moment of this show. I know I said that I loved the scene before with Eve, the prostitute that he was into, and Sophia, but I think this scene tops it. Getting to see them have a therapy session for the big kind of final climax of the show was everything I could have wanted. Like, I feel like I didn't need a big action scene. Like, this was what I wanted. Getting to see these three incredible actors just work with such good dialogue and get to play with each other, seeing them react to each other was just the greatness of that moment. Having Sophia unravel this trauma and force them to kind of connect, and this painful realization for both Sophia and the mom that Oz has no feelings. He has trained himself over the years to just lie so naturally that he starts to believe them himself. He believes his own lies. I'm forgetting the word for the constant liar, but you guys know what I mean. Pathological liar. He's just the epitome of that, and refuses to take anything. Like, he's trained his mind to not let anything else tell him he's wrong. You know, it's such a sick illness, but my God, he is so awful. And even Sophia is shocked that by his awfulness. Like, he would have let her cut off her mom's finger just because he didn't want to acknowledge what he did in the past, and he's blocked it out of his mind. Like, it's like he deleted it from his brain, and he actually can't access it because he's told himself so many times this is how it's meant to be with his mom. That's all there was. It's heartbreaking. It's rough. It's beautiful. It's scary, and such a mix of everything. you think that Sophia has the power in this moment, but it so quickly backfires on her because of how Penguin is. Getting to see her let Francis walk towards Oz was one of my favorite moments. Not expecting Francis to do what she did and stab Oz. I remember my girlfriend even was like, is he gonna kill her? And I thought the same thing. I was like, he's gonna flip because she's, onto him, and he refuses to believe that he had anything to do with the death of his brothers. And I thought he was gonna break and just snap and kill her, but was not expecting Francis to do what she did. And it was so painful getting to see the shot of the younger actor react to being stabbed. It was, oh. And then I for sure thought she was dead when she fell to the floor and saw the other brothers who had drowned. I think we all were hoping that that was her end, and because it was kind of her resolution. She got to see the brothers again and then go. But no, we find out later Oz wants to keep her alive, even though he promised to kill her and end her suffering. He is god-awful. I was shocked to see that he was able to just stand up after getting stabbed and shoot pretty much every single person in that room and get out with his mom was insane. All I remember thinking was, don't you goddamn dare shoot Sophia. But he gets out of there, he takes her to a hospital, he stitches himself up and stuff, but he calls Vic over and lies to Vic. Tells him that it was Sophia who stabbed him, which is odd. But things are starting to add up a little bit, as we find out later. Then we find out that all the gangs have come and met up with Sophia, who's now offering them her home, her territories, and her businesses in return for them capturing and finding Oz. After that, we see Oz go and talk to the politician guy, who he's trying to weave this story about Sophia and how she's to blame and how she did the bomb and how you'll find Sal's body in there, who they were having a gang war and stuff like that. And he's just putting it all on Sophia, saying how this politician will become a hero in the people's eye, and convinces him to basically weave this lie. I remember thinking, wow, he goes from dealing with the mafia to now politicians and politics. And I just remember thinking, like, well, it's not that different. It's a different kind of mafia, just a bigger one. I did think it was cool that we got a quick glimpse of the mayor from the Batman movie. I don't remember her name, but I immediately remembered her face and was like, from the Batman. I loved getting to see Sophia burn everything in that red dress of hers, smoking the 3 cigarettes. Oh, that was so good. She gets a call from Mr. Zhao, who says they have Oz, so she goes and meets them over there. But we find out that Oz has the upper hand, and he's got one gang member that matters on his side, and has turned the people. He's now captured Sophia, and he takes her to a spot where he has her at gunpoint, and we have this lovely back and forth with Sophia and Penguin as Sophia kind of accepts her fate. And God, the whole time I was just like, please don't take her. But it all makes sense because Oz wants someone to blame and just sets her up to get arrested by the cops, who clearly his talk with the politicians influence has come. But yeah, that's when we find out that his mom is not really here anymore. She's kind of a vegetable, as he calls her, due to a stroke that she had. And then he goes outside to have a drink with Vic when he finds out that his mom's not really coming back. And they have this heart-to-heart, sharing some whiskey. And God, I was not expecting that. As soon as Vic calls him family, Penguin's like, well, that's the problem. And God, dude, what the hell? Like, he just is such an awful guy. Like, poor Vic. Like, was hoping he was gonna change his mind, but I was like, no, he did it. I don't even have words. I was just so shocked by that moment. And the shot of Penguin after he strangles him was just so haunting. And I think my partner said that like she thought it was just like a shot out of a comic. It was just so perfect. His face that he was making just encapsulates this character so perfectly. Then of course we see Sophia Falcone back in Arkham with her doctor, who I couldn't help but think, oh, he's gonna help her escape. Like if anyone, he's on the inside. He can help her. You know, if he's still playing this doctor role. For a second, I thought that I was hearing somebody's voice on the other side, and I thought it was the Riddler or Joker. But I'm glad it wasn't, and that it was actually just the doctor's voice I was hearing, who hands her the letter from Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. And my first thought was like, oh my god, it's like a letter of invitation to the Batman 2. And I was like, fuck yeah, she made it. I cannot wait to see them team up, because I completely kind of forgot that, like, yes, they are a half sister to each other. Completely forgot about it. This is like some Game of Thrones bastard child reunion. It's so great. Mostly just overwhelmed with the fact that we get to see more of Sofia Gigante. And then of course it has to end on a haunting moment of poor Deirdre O'Connell, aka Frances Cobb, sitting in her chair crying, and that's all she can do as Mr. Penguin keeps her alive, when she said that was the last thing that she wanted, was to keep feeling this pain. You know, the last thing he could do for her could be to let her go, but that's not what he's gonna do. And it was just so sick getting to see the Eve Carlo, his prostitute friend, get to dress up as his mom. He even called her Ma. It was so goddamn creepy. Like, oh, dude, what the hell? And then I remember my girlfriend was saying, like, well, he is a villain. He's a Batman villain. We gotta remember that he's not the good guy. But God, does he have to be so sick and fucked up? Like, oh my God. Loved getting to see the Batman signal in the air. It's a warning, you know, and kind of does set up an exciting plot, I feel like, for the Batman 2, if Penguin's going to be as involved as I'm hearing, which I'm hearing has a few good scenes and is potentially signed on for a Batman 3. So stay tuned. Are you guys excited for the Batman 2? Would you guys want a season 2 of the Penguin? Would you want it before the Batman 2, or would you want it after the Batman 2? I'm hearing they might do more miniseries on other characters in that universe, but I feel like this is the one that I wanted to see. I wasn't expecting Cristin Milioti, of course, but she was just such a perfect addition, and like I said before, I don't think this show would work as well without her. So grateful to have started watching this show. It's one of my favorite things I've ever watched. Really, really impressed, and definitely deserves a rewatch I'll be doing. But let me know what you guys thought. I would love to hear if you guys enjoyed the show as much as I did. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen, what you guys are excited for. Would love to hear. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.